Pool of Tears. Extract from Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. "Curiouser and curiouser!" cried Alice. She was so surprised that for the moment she quite forgot how to speak good English. "Now I am getting much bigger, like a very large telescope," she said. When she looked down at her feet, they seemed to be almost out of sight. "Oh, my poor little feet, good-bye!" she exclaimed. "I wonder who will put on your shoes and stockings for you now, dears? I shall be a great deal too far off to trouble myself about you, so you must manage the best way you can, but I must be kind to them." Alice thought, "Or perhaps they won't walk the way I want them to go. Let me see. I'll give them a new pair of boots every Christmas." And she went on planning how she would send the boots as a Christmas present for her own feet. But at this moment her head struck against the roof of the hall, and at once she picked up the little golden key and hurried off to the garden door. Poor Alice! It was as much as she could do, lying down on one side, to look through into the garden with one eye, but to get through was even more hopeless. So she sat down and began to cry again. "You ought to be ashamed of yourself," she said a few minutes later. "A big girl like you to go on crying in this way. Stop this minute, I tell you." But she went on all the same, shedding gallons of tears until there was a large pool all round her, about 4 inches deep, and reaching half-way down the hall. After a time she heard a pattering of feet in the distance, and she hastily dried her eyes to see who was coming. It was the White Rabbit returning splendidly dressed, with a pair of white kid gloves in one hand and a large fan in the other. He came trotting along in a great hurry, muttering to himself as he came, "Oh, the Duchess, the Duchess! Oh, won't she be furious if I've kept her waiting?" Alice felt so desperate that she was ready to ask anyone for help. So when the rabbit came nearer, she began in a low, timid voice, "If you please, sir." The rabbit started violently, dropped the white kid gloves and the fan, and hurried away into the darkness as fast as he could go. Giant Alice watching Rabbit run away. Alice picked up the fan and gloves, and as the hall was very hot, she kept fanning herself all the time. She went on talking. "Dear, dear, how queer everything is today, and yesterday things went on just as usual. I wonder if I have been changed in the night. Let me think. Was I the same when I got up this morning? I almost think I can remember feeling a little different. But if I am not the same, the next question is, who in the world am I?" And she began thinking over all the children she knew that were of the same age as herself, to see if she could have been changed for any of them.